Dark Shadows, number 56. VTR 9566, Air 91266. Take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. Barely 12 hours have passed since Carolyn Stoddard and I had thought the tragic legend of Collinwood had become a reality, and that we had seen a dead body lying at the foot of Widow's Hill. 12 hours that had brought no answers, either to me or to her.
Carolyn,
Oh, hi, Mother.
can you come in here for a minute? I have something for you.
I hope it isn't a lecture for sleeping this late. I haven't done it for years.
Of course not, darling. I'm glad you could. Last night wasn't easy for you.
What makes you think it's easy now? Warmed over coffee. Sleep till noon and your punishment shall be the dregs of the coffee pot.
I believe this is what you and Miss Winters were looking for last night.
My watch. Where did you find it?
On the cliff. Joe was here this morning. He looked for it.
Good old Joe. You know something crazy? It's still running. After being out all night on that spooky ledge, it's still running. You, the cause of all that trouble.
Carolyn, about last night.
I know. Vicki and I were a couple of idiots, and I'm sorry. The next time we think we see a dead body, we'll keep it to ourselves instead of scaring everyone half to death, including me. I better call Joe and thank him.
Carolyn, you and Miss Winters were right. You did see a dead body.
We what?
There was a man at the foot of the cliff. A dead man.
Last night you said... Hello. Yes, she's right here. Who is this, please? Who's? I'll put her right on. It's the sheriff's office. They just found Bill Malloy's body. Bill. Is that who it was last night?
I see. I see. Yes, I suppose it is necessary. Are you absolutely certain it's... I mean, I suppose there's no question about who it is. Yes, of course. Well, thank you very much for calling. Goodbye.
Mother, how did it happen? I mean, are they sure it's Bill?
Yes.
Couldn't they be mistaken?
I'm afraid not.
But he can't be dead.
Darling.
Last night, when Matthew went down to look, he said there was nothing there. Why did he lie about it?
Well, it wasn't exactly a lie. There was no body there. Matthew pushed Bill back into the water.
How horrible. Why?
Well, he thought he was protecting me from the notoriety of finding a dead man at the foot of Widow's Hill.
But he knew who it was, didn't he?
Oh, it doesn't matter now, Carolyn. It's over. He told me what he'd done, and I called the sheriff.
But how could he do such a thing? Suppose the body had never been found again.
But it was found. All right. Matthew did a foolish thing, but he thought he was helping me. He thought it would keep people from talking about Collinwood again, from saying that a third person had fallen from Widow's Hill, as the legend says.
Is this where Bill died? At Collinwood?
The sheriff doesn't think so.
Then where?
Please, Carolyn, I can't talk about it anymore, not now.
Well, what did they say? I mean, on the phone just now.
They said they found Bill's body 2 miles down the coast. They said they couldn't determine the cause of death until an autopsy was performed.
But he drowned, didn't he?
Carolyn, you asked me what they said, and I've told you. Now, please, let that be an end to it.
Does Uncle Roger know about this?
I don't know.
Don't you think someone ought to tell him?
I suppose so.
Do you want me to call him?
No. I want you to take your coffee cup back out to the kitchen where it belongs. And I want you to go upstairs and get dressed. And don't forget your watch. Hello. This is Mrs. Stoddard. I'd like to speak to Mr. Collins, please. I see. Do you know where I might find him?
I thought I might find you here.
You passing judgment on me, Collins? I happen to find this place very comforting at the moment. An oasis in a world of horror.
You should have been a poet, Evans.
I should have been many things other than what I am. You know about Malloy?
But he's presumed to be dead, yes.
Presumed. You needn't be so delicate, Collins. The poor man's dead. Dead and gone. May his soul rest in peace.
Why are you so sure?
You said you knew.
All I know, all anyone knows, is that my caretaker found a body at the foot of Widow's Hill last night and pushed it out to sea. The fact that he called it Bill Malloy means nothing, unless the body shows up again for definite identification.
Well, it seems that I've got news for you, Collins. The same news that gave me this sudden and overpowering thirst.
Let me help you with that. Oh, thanks. Last night was quite a night, wasn't it? Yes. How soon did you get up? Sooner than I wish I had. Vicky, you're pulling too hard. There isn't enough to cover the mattress over here. I'm sorry. Hey, now there's nothing here. Oh, why don't I let you make your bed by yourself? I'm quite an expert at this. You know how many pets there were in the foundling home? 130. Seemed like 1,000. Of course, I didn't make all of them. I only helped some of the littler children. Do you know what I think they did? I think they pretended they didn't know how to make beds, so... Carolyn, what's wrong? Vicky, I hate this world. I just hate it. Nothing seems to go right, ever. Ever. What happened? Do you know what Matthew did last night? He tried to keep people from saying that the legends about this house are real. Which legends? You've got so many. Oh, we've got them by the dozens. One for every night in the year. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen, and see the haunted house. See the old witch and her daughter. Shiver and quake as you walk along Widow's Hill and look over the edge. And for only a slight extra charge, we'll take you to the very spot where... Vicky, Bill Malloy is dead.
Oh, no.
of the nicest, sweetest men I've ever known.
Carolyn, I'm so sorry.
I do hate this world, Vicky.
How did it happen?
I don't know. Oh, Vicky, why does life have to be like that? Why?
The Coast Guard found his body 2 miles south of Collingwood. The sheriff has ordered an autopsy.
Why should he do that?
I just spoke with the sheriff's office. That's what they told me.
But why an autopsy? The man was found in the water, wasn't he? Surely they know he was drowned.
They know he's dead, nothing more. But in a little while, they're going to want to know much more. I want you to understand one thing. If there's any possibility at all that Malloy was murdered, any possibility at all, I'm going to do everything in my power to help find the man who was responsible.
Why tell me?
I just want that point absolutely clear.
Did anyone say he was murdered?
Not directly, but the question is there.
What did you tell the sheriff?
He wanted to know when I'd last seen Malloy, what his general attitude was, that sort of thing.
Well, you didn't tell him about the meeting the night he disappeared, did you?
As a matter of fact, I did.
But you're not serious.
Of course I'm serious. Now think, Evans. Just think a minute. On the night of his disappearance,
Yeah.
Malloy called a meeting to which he invited you, me, and Burke Devlin. Now, if I hadn't said anything about it, surely Burke would have, and you know it.
Well, you mentioned my name. You told him I was there.
Well, you were there.
Yes, I know, but Collins, just think what that'll mean. Now, the sheriff will call me to the office. He'll ask me questions. What am I supposed to say?
Precisely what I tell you to say. How's your drink? Shall we order another?
That's how Bill's life ended, Vicky. Fished out of the water. It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Yes, it is.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, there's so much you want to do in this life, and you never know when it's going to come to an end.
I suppose that's true.
Vicky, haven't you ever thought? I mean, you could be crossing the street, just crossing the street, even right here in Collinsport. And suddenly along comes a car, and that's it. It's over.
I think it would be better if we talked about something else.
Do you know what Bill's dream was? At least that's what he once told me. To spend 1 month, one solid, uninterrupted month, sitting on a tropical island somewhere, looking up at the sky. He never got to do it. If you have a dream, Vicky, there's only one thing to do. Go after it. Chase it down while you still have the time.
Carolyn, I thought you'd be dressed by now.
Vicky and I were just talking about life and death.
She told me about Mr. Malloy. I'm very sorry.
Thank you. We all are. Darling, I want you to do something for me. Get dressed and go into town, see if you can find Uncle Roger.
Oh, do I have to, Mother? I'd so much rather stay here with you.
Please, I think he ought to know about Bill.
But he must know by now. It's probably all over town.
Do it for me, please.
Did I ever tell you that I love you?
Where's David?
He's in the kitchen. He wanted to make his own sandwich.
I think it's best to forget about his lessons for the rest of the day. I'd rather he played outside.
All right, I'll tell him.
Don't say anything about Mr. Malloy.
No.
And if there's anything you want to do, there's no reason for you to stay here.
Well, there is something I've been meaning to do, but I've been putting it off.
Oh, fine.
It's about a man named Evans. Sam Evans.
Collins? How long can we continue building a wall with bricks that have no substance?
Those bricks will be real as long as we say they are, Evans.
It won't work.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer telling the sheriff that Malloy called that meeting to clear Burke's manslaughter conviction, that you had information that would prove me guilty of that crime?
But to pile lie on lie. Can't you see, Collins? It builds up like an inverted pyramid that sooner or later must topple over of its own weight.
Not if we stand together. Evans, I'd better point out something to you. If Malloy had shown up at that meeting and proven his accusation, you wouldn't be sitting here today. You would be in prison waiting trial as an accessory after the fact. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
But even that would be better than a life sentence for murder. Yes, Evans. You have a lot to gain by Malloy's death, and don't think the police aren't going to wonder about it.
I didn't kill him.
Do you think that a simple statement like that will satisfy the sheriff? You've got to protect yourself, Evans. You've got to say just what I said, that you hadn't the faintest idea what that meeting was about or why Malloy asked you to be there.
I did not kill him.
He's dead. You had motive.
No more than you.
That's right. That's why we must stand together.
Well, what about Burke? You think he'll tell the truth? You know he will.
I'm sure he will. But it's his word against ours. His word without a shred of proof to back it up. Don't you see? If we go on saying he was lying, no one can prove otherwise.
No one. But one man. And he's dead.
Have you seen my mother?
I think she's in her room lying down.
Poor mother. I wonder if she's going to put Bill's name in this book.
That's only for your family, isn't it?
I suppose so. Only qualified, bona fide members of the Collins clan. The holy and the damned. Have you looked through here recently? You might find someone you know.
I'm looking for someone who knows me. Carolyn, if you're still going into town, could you give me a lift?
Sure. You want to get away from this gloom for a while.
Well, it's not that. It's what you said upstairs.
Oh. The fatalistic philosophy of Carolyn Stoddard. Forget it, Vicky. I was just feeling very low.
I know, but just the same, it's true. If you want to get something done, it's foolish to keep putting it off. Even though I don't expect to get hit by a truck today.
I wish you wouldn't even joke about it.
How much do you know about a man called Sam Evans?
Nothing, really. I've met him once or twice. He's an artist. Why?
You know his daughter Maggie, don't you?
Sure. She works in the hotel restaurant. What about her?
Well, the other day she and I got to talking and we became friendly. And she asked me to come to her house for dinner sometime to meet her father.
Oh, that might be kind of fun for you.
Well, your uncle didn't seem to think so.
Uncle Roger?
When I mentioned it to him, he got very upset. As a matter of fact, he tried to talk me out of going.
Why should Uncle Roger care?
I don't know. Could it be that Sam Evans knows something about me that your uncle doesn't want me to learn?
Oh, Vicky, that is ridiculous.
Maybe. But it could be.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as I know, he's just an artist who drinks too much. Now, what could he possibly know about you?
I don't know, but I'll never find out unless I ask, will I?
Roger, I've been trying to reach you. You heard the news about Bill?
Yes. It's terribly sad, isn't it?
Horrible. Just horrible. Have you been at the plant at all?
No, I was in town, but I came home directly when I heard the news. You know, it's a funny thing, Liz. I've been hoping that Matthew had made a mistake.
I think that's what we all hoped.
Uncle Roger, you're home. I'm so glad.
Aye, kitten. About the plant. Don't you think we ought to close down for the rest of the day? I think that's the least we could do for Bill, wouldn't you say?
Of course. I'll call right away.
Well, kitten, we've lost a good friend, haven't we?
Yes. Oh, it looks like I won't be going into town. If you want to take my car, you're welcome to it. Thank you. Happy hunting.
Where's he off to?
Oh, some nonsense about Sam Evans.
Sam Evans? She going to see him?
Yes. Why? Do you care?
Of course not. I hardly know the man.
That's just what I told her.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.